So the the Democratic Party, well, I mean, Washington in itself is the gift that keeps on giving, no matter which side of the aisle you're receiving said gifts from. But the Democrats are, I mean, they're really in the holiday spirit, I think, because they are nonstop on the giving, from the infighting to the fact that they're eating themselves alive, because you have such this vast divide between the normal, well, kind of normal Democrats, and then the far left ones who are socialists and bouncing and teetering on the edge of communism. Um, Now they have a fight song, one to motivate their base, and I don't see it. But what it does continually ensure is that the Republican Party is going to spank that ass. It's coming again in the midterms. Mark my words. You got to see it.
Democrats, for better or for worse, are trying to not just mobilize their base, but to really get their base like fired up and excited for like a big, busy, buzzy midterm season. And there is apparently now a Democratic fight song, and we all have to learn it now because, you know, nobody wants to be the person at the rallies who doesn't know the lyrics to the fight song. So embarrassing. It really does feel like they're taking their cues from, you know, high school pep rallies. But at the Democratic National Committee meeting in Minneapolis this week, attendees were led in song and they were encouraged to sing along, and they had the lyrics up on the screen and everything. So here are the lyrics, and you guys can follow along at home. DEMS, we rise, stronger together, blue skies. Lift your voice, we're bold and true. Onward, Democrats, we shine blue.
No,
okay, I was never a cheerleader, so that was my best go at it. DNC Chairman Ken Martin also told Democrats that they need to bring a bazooka to a knife fight. Better late than never, I guess. And they need to grow a damn spine. Here's what he said. Now look, folks, I'm sick and tired of this Democratic Party bringing a pencil to a knife fight. We cannot be the only party that plays by the rules anymore. So.
All right, hold on. No, see, this is where they're messing up again, because they act like that they're the party of this moral high ground still. They act like they're the ones that are constantly playing by the rules, when that's not the case. When you take into consideration the gerrymandering, the big ordeal over Trump, initiating that, in states like Texas, redistricting their maps. The Dems are notorious for that. Like, they've gerrymandered some of their states so friggin' far, you can't go any further with it. California, Illinois, pretty much the entire the whole New England section of the country. And it continues to get worse. It continues to get worse, because not only do we have this ridiculousness, you have Maxine Waters calling for Trump to be removed from office based on the 25th Amendment. Where was that same dedication and vigor for the health of our nation when you had clueless Joe Biden at the, oh, wait a minute, that's right, because he was theirs. That's why that doesn't apply, because they're also hypocrites. They're the hypocritical party. I also think that it's the party of masochists, because they continually do shit to hurt themselves constantly, or give ammo and the ability for anyone, they're cannon fodder. They've turned themselves into cannon fodder for they're the party of the absurd and masochists.
Elliot, did you like the song? Have you committed it to memory? And will you be singing it at the next Democratic rally that you attend?
I'm actually changing my political affiliation right now after that. I think this is the straw that broke the camel's back. Honestly, when I first read this headline, I thought it was going to be that, which I'm not going to sing it, but that song is like, "This Is My Fight Song." You know that song?
Yes.
Yeah, and it was somehow even worse. What they're doing. I mean, the Democrats are not the coolest people. I will say that, unfortunately. And this is so embarrassing. And they also, even when they're trying to sound tough, this sort of like, we are sick and tired of it. It's so just like, come on, man. You guys got to do a little better than this.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Democrats.
One day.
Well, yeah. Maybe make Democrats great again. Because back in the day, I mean, JFK was a badass, right? And you could argue Clinton was cool and Obama was cool. I wouldn't argue Bill Clinton's cool.
See, that's the thing. I was going to say that too. Back in the day, Clinton was cool. They even talk about here just a second. But I do remember the episode of him being on Arsenio Hall playing the saxophone. I thought that was the coolest thing. See, that's that. I love my political alignment is I'm an independent. Obviously it's the name of my channel, an independent perspective. And it's a generalized, broad title encompassing all things. But in this, in this context, it's the political one. But because I love to be able to go either way, either side of the aisle, depending on who I feel is better for the country. And Bill Clinton was phenomenal. I mean, I used to even make jokes about how he wasn't actually the one in charge. It was Hillary, because I thought she was something. I thought these two were the power couple. I thought they were amazing. The economy, this country was amazing under the Clinton administration. It was fantastic. And I don't think we even had. I think he eradicated our national deficit, if I remember correctly, by his second term. I didn't care about the Monica Lewinsky stuff. Whatever. Yeah, that's a moral thing. But like I said, the Democrats aren't on the moral high ground. Never have been. And they've gotten extremely horrible at lying now. But I miss those days. I miss the Clinton Democrats. Of course, now you got the existent, non-existent. Oh, we're going to show you. No, we're not going to show you Epstein files and client list. But whatever. We'll never see those. It'll never happen. And if we do, it'll be so redacted, it's going to be pointless and just piss a bunch of people off. But yeah, I miss the way things were when the Clintons were in the White House. How this country was then. Were we perfect? No. Was everything great? Hell no. But it was a much better world than what we're living in now. So, but I mean, whatever. I guess so long for the ride.
Cool today, right? But could have made the argument back then.
Back in the day, was.
What's that?
Yeah, back in the day in the 90s, he was the coolest thing that anybody had seen. He was playing the saxophone on Arsenio,
Yeah. And so, but like, they seem so unaware. I think that's the real thing, right? So you do a fight song. It depends on how you do it. I guess you could have fun with it, but you gotta like be a little self-effacing, right? Understand that it's dorky. Like if you own the dork, that's okay. But if you don't realize you're being dorky, like I wrote a poem called Hope, and I read it on air a couple of times over the years. And one of the hilarious lines in it is that blue I see? Is that hope I feel? But I own the dork, right? Like I know it's funny, right? But they don't seem to realize it's funny, and they're taking it seriously. They remind me of the Northwestern guys. Now this is super random. And if you don't know anybody who went to Northwestern, you're like, what? But like, I know a couple of guys and they're all mental about like Northwestern. There's some propaganda that they do at that particular school. And like, if you see two Northwestern guys get together, like alumni, oh, they'll immediately break out into like weird handshakes and secret songs. And you're like, bring it down, man, or get a room. So I got the same kind of vibe from this Dems Rise song. But look, if it was like a side story, it's funny, we'd have fun with it, but who cares, right? But to me, the problem is this is all they have, empty theatrics. So when he says, grow a damn spine, Ken, right back at you, brother. So we just covered last week that the DNC had a vote and they proposed a resolution to stop funding Israel in the middle of this genocide. And they're like, oh, no, we can't do that. We can't do that. The Israeli lobby donors. Well, no. And then they produce like some weak sauce thing about like, we also care about Palestinians, I guess. And then they passed that, and then they took that one back. No, you can't say grow a damn spine and not do anything that actually shows spine, and then give me a song about how you're rising in an awkward way.
Because they're not. The Democrats are not rising. They're falling. I think their approval rating is around 20%. They're in the 20s, low 20s. By the time the midterms come around, they're going to be in single digits. If they don't fully implode by then. Like I said, they are completely divided. There's no unity to the Democratic Party. The Republicans are just, I mean, they're in lockstep. There may be a few people, few grumbles, that want to try to speak out against what Trump's doing, but for the most part, they're not saying shit. They're saying nothing. They're doing what Trump's agenda is, because he's wise to the BS. They had him the first time. They sure as the hell didn't get him the second time. They weren't gonna corral him in and keep him from accomplishing what he wanted to. That was not gonna happen. But the Democrats, all they have is hate Trump, hate Trump, hate Trump. He's Hitler. He's the worst thing on the planet. He is horrible. He's gonna kill everybody. He's this, he's that, he's the devil. Like, that's all they have. That's all they have. And 85% of it's performative and straight BS that nobody's buying. And they have nothing of their own. The Democrats have fallen off. They have fallen completely off their path. They don't give a damn about this country. They care nothing about it. And they're going to lose. They're going to continue to lose, because all they have is hate Trump and identity politics. I'm sorry, I forgot that earlier. Identity politics that also nobody gives a shit about but them. And the people and all these people, and some of them, I know some people are oppressed. I understand oppression still happens. I understand racism's there, bigotry, of all forms is in existence. But to the nth degree that they have sold it is not true. That is not reality in this country. If it was that damn bad, you wouldn't have half the world trying to get in here. But nobody, I mean, the left they want to see that. And that's not what they're promoting. That's not part of their narrative. But they're falling apart. And this right here is a mother effing joke. It's a joke. And the Democratic Party themselves are ripping on them. When you have Cenk Uygur, and there's another episode with him and Anna Kasparian, talking about how they're dead. The Democratic Party is, I mean, that's why Anna no longer aligns with the Democratic Party. She understands they're sinking. The ship has capsized. They're done. Done. And their hope is Mamdani, whatever his name is, in New York. Really? A socialist? And they don't even support that. Of course not. Because why would you? Where do you think the money's still going to come from? They're not going to magically manufacture it, because when they did that, like Biden did, we had hyperinflation. Taxpayers, and they're still going to line their damn pockets, because they are still funded by billionaires. Just like they say because like I said, they're the party of the hypocrites, hypocritical masochists. They try to play it off that Republicans are the only ones who get billionaire donors. It's BS. It's a bunch of crap. It's not true. Kamala Harris proved that. 1.5 billion in less than a month, and then blew it all and was still 20 million in the hole. Had to try to borrow money after she lost the election. And these are the people that want to run this country. They can't even govern themselves.
Okay, nobody else is rising with you, Ken.
Yeah, that was earlier this week that we covered that story about the DNC. So, like my personal outlook on life is that everyone is a huge dork. Like everyone is a huge dork. Some people you just have to dig a little bit deeper before you can get to it, before you can uncover it. But at people's cores, they're a bunch of dorks. Like I'm a dork. I've never claimed to be a cool person. I don't think I'm that cool. I don't think I'm that funny. But, like this whole thing is so interesting because it's like they're trying so hard to like mobilize people and get people energized and get people excited to vote in the upcoming midterms. Because I think on some level, the Democrats have finally figured out that it's not just enough to fearmonger to your base and say, oh, you have to vote or else this other person's going to win. So put our person in. They have to get people actually excited about their candidates that they're putting forward. And, maybe this is a first step towards that. But the other thing is that the Democratic voters are literally telling the Democrats what they want from that party and why they're not excited to vote for this party because they're not doing the things that we're asking of them. We're telling them these are the things that we would like you to do. These are the things we would like you to say. And the Democrats cannot do it. And as Cenk referenced, earlier this week, we covered that story where the DNC was discussing a few referendums and they couldn't even get on board to say that, Israel, like that we're not going to fund or support Israel anymore as a party. And this is something that is overwhelmingly supported, not just by Democratic voters, but by people on both sides of the political aisle. And the Democrats are still dragging their feet. That was a huge issue in the 2024 election. And we told them that, right? So many people told the Democrats we are withholding our votes this election cycle because we do not like the Democrats' stance on Israel and Gaza and what's happening over there, and the fact that we keep funding it and sending them weaponry, and we're seeing all the death and destruction over there, and we don't want it anymore. So we're not going to vote for your candidate. And we had two presidential candidates this time around, and neither of them denounced what was going on in Gaza. So the people, like, it's not, we don't have to sing fight songs. Just do the stuff. Just do your jobs. Just govern and just pay attention and listen to your constituents.
The Democrats are failing. They're continuing to fail. They're going to continue to fail because they have nothing. They are a completely disbanded and shattered party. And this is the best they can come up with. This is the best the DNC came up with. And they did something else where they were recognizing the land of Minneapolis had been taken from this Indian, this Native American tribe. Well, yeah, I mean, all the land pretty much was taken several hundred years ago. Continued to be taken, up until a few hundred years ago. It's irrelevant. Like that stuff's irrelevant. That's what they keep pinning their party to irrelevant subject matters that have no bearing on today. Every piece of land in the world has been taken at some point by some other people from the ones who initially inhabited it. That's just about every nation was a conquest warring nation at some point. This isn't new. We're not the only place that's happened. White people aren't the only people that have done that or have enslaved people. It's another thing. They're just stuck on the past and beating a dead horse with a stick because they have nothing for the present and the future. They have zero. Hating Trump, what color's your skin, and what's between your legs. That's the Democratic Party. That's all they give a shit about. And they're going to continue to fail and will fail and fail and fail and offer nothing, period. And I'm upset with the fact that there are no options. We don't have options like we used to. There used to be, when there was a political race of any kind, the smut that was thrown was literally talking about what the incumbent or had not accomplished when they said that they would, or the one that was coming in that was trying to take office, anything that they have failed at in their past, in their endeavors to better their people. And we have since fallen way beyond that, and it's turned into a friggin' high school shit show. We're just slinging mud, making up shit as we go. At horrible times. Horrible times. The shooting that just happened at this Catholic church, this school, with these babies that got killed, and these other ones got wounded, and the person was transgender. You know, I'm not emphasizing the transgender thing because I'm not saying that is the main cause. People with mental illness have mental illness. Period. It doesn't matter what your gender you align with, which one you identify with. Definitely doesn't make you a bad person. Definitely doesn't mean you're going to go in and shoot kids, you know, or shoot anybody. But my problem is, had this person been, you know, from the right or MAGA, you know, Rosie O'Donnell got her dumb ass on and posted a video talking. All she saw was a picture and was spreading lies to her millions of followers that this person was a white nationalist, white supremacist, MAGA, and that's just, you know, par for the course. They had to go back on there and of course continue to be a dumbass that she is. She's useless. This woman is dried up, used up old has-been who keeps letting Donald Trump rent space in her head for free 24/7 from the other side of the planet. But again, they're lying. Just lie. Talking out her ass. That's what we have from the Democratic Party. And I'm not saying the Republicans are the holders of all the truth, because they're definitely not. But that's one thing that's pissing the Democrats off so far. That's why they're so mad at Donald Trump, because he literally took their playbook. You can go back and find stuff like we're talking about the wall. Hillary Clinton video of her talking about how harsh we need to be on cracking on immigration and deporting people. Her saying it, her husband saying it, Obama saying it, who's the deporter in chief. He took a lot of their things, a lot of their platforms that they stood on, and he took them when he left the party and brought them over to the Republican side and has implemented them. Instead of a bunch of damn smoke blowing up everyone's ass, he actually put them into play. Now, they stopped him. Like I said, his first term, they had him. Because he didn't know. He didn't know how to play the game, but he learned. And then he had 4 years in the middle of that bullshit onslaught of all that lawfare. Some of it legit, a lot of it not. To learn the game, to align his pieces, and to find the right people. And they give him that time. And by not having anything, they had nothing to combat that, because people got tired of hearing about how Trump is Hitler. Nobody cares about that shit. You know what they care about? What's it cost me to live? What's it cost me to take care of my family? That's what I give a damn about. Because it doesn't matter who's in that fucking White House. That's all I got. That's what I have to do. That's what I have control over, is how well my family's provided for. What are you going to do for me and my people and everyone else in this nation that depends on you sitting up there in that seat with that power? That's what we care about. Don't give a damn what your color of your skin is, who you want to sleep with, who you love, what you think about your genitalia. Don't give a shit. It does not put food on my table or in the bellies of my kids. And the Democrats still haven't learned. They've learned nothing. Zero. Zip. Zilch. They stand for nothing and they care for even less. But hey, you know what? That's just the nature of the beast right now. And I will continue to fight the fight and do what I need to do to provide for my family. just like a lot of the people out here, most people out here in this country, this beautiful, amazing country known as the United States of America that I love, will defend with my last breath and the last drop of blood in my body. And the people here that deserve to have that kind of loyalty. But hey, you know what? Let me know what you guys think. I'm 100% always interested in what you have to say.